Before the Las Vegas Raiders took the field against the Dallas Cowboys for their final preseason game of 2023, they got some good news. Yes, they signed Josh Jacobs, star running back Josh Jacobs, to a major contract. And yes, I know this is a little bit of a recap video, but we believe this is a win-win-win. If you're an Office fan, you guys will know what that reference is, or hopefully you do. But we believe this is a win-win-win for all three sides, and there's a couple of different reasons for that. So first off, apparently you guys like to roast me because of my awful camera phone. First off, we want to apologize for that. And no, David, we're not in a minivan. We're in our truck. Thanks for putting us on flames there. We love to see it overall. So sorry for about the very blurry camera and the late break there, but overall, hey, we're happy to get it out. And no, we don't have a minivan. We drive a Ford F-150. So say whatever you will about that. But overall, like we covered the other day, so yes, he's coming back to the Raiders on a one-year deal worth up to $12 million. This was kind of something that there was a couple of different things you could take away, because $12 million, that's more than Saquon Barkley. That's more than Tony Pollard, all these guys that got franchise tagged. So technically, this doesn't come across as a tag. And there's a couple of other things that Tom Pelissero pointed out here. So the base value of Josh Jacobs' deal was at $11.8 million, including some per-game roster bonuses, a significant upgrade from the $10.091 million tag. Jacobs can earn $200,000 in incentives to reach the $12 million max. The Raiders and star running back, then his next tweet coming out there: by boosting the base value of the deal and not just adding incentives, a potential second franchise tag in 2024 becomes more costly, potentially exceeding $14 million. For at least one more season, Josh Jacobs is staying in Vegas. And I think, honestly, that really hit the nail on the head. He pointed out the fact that, hey, it's probably going to be less likely that they tag him next year. They get their leading rusher back this year, and it makes both sides happy because he's making the most, or at least he's tied with a guy like Christian McCaffrey, both making that $12 million, for this year, which is great. I think he deserves to be up there being paid with some of the best running backs in the NFL, because that's what he was last year, and I don't think anybody can debate that. But here's why it's a win-win for both sides for this particular contract. So first off, yes, it's a one-year contract. That means neither side is tied up. Next year, they could franchise tag him, but it's significantly downgraded because we don't think that's going to happen, because they're not going to pay him $14 million, or at least they're not very likely to. And even if he has another season in which he leads the NFL in rushing and kills it, I mean, it's a possibility, but hey, he's going to get a lot of money either way. It's more expensive to tag him, like we touched on. That's definitely something to keep an eye on here, and why it's a win-win. So it does kind of open up the fact to, hey, he could potentially hit a free agency, which we'll get into in here in a little bit. Number 3, it's fair compensation. He's right up there with Christian McCaffrey. He's above Saquon Barkley and Tony Pollard, making that $10.091 million for this year. And like we said, it's fair compensation, $12 million. You love to see it. Next year, it also helps him hit free agency at the age of 26, potentially coming off 2 seasons in which he led the NFL in rushing, which is huge. So that potentially means he could get paid a lot more money somewhere else. Maybe if he doesn't get more money, he's going to get a good amount of money on a multi-year contract, which is exactly what you want to see if you're Josh Jacobs. And then finally, yes, the Raiders keep their guy, the NFL's rushing leader in 2022, and you'll love to see it. So I think both sides got what they needed to in this case. Josh Jacobs got his contract that puts him with the highest paid running backs in the NFL, and then the Raiders also get the guy that's going to set the tone for them offensively moving forward. I think it's a win-win. I think both sides are very happy with this, and I think both sides can really start to evaluate where they're going to be at next year when they get to that point. So I love the deal, but I think it's a win-win. Everybody should be happy. We should all move forward and have a good season this year. But let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below. Like we said, leave that like and that comment, because that's what helps people find the show. But at the end of the day, let us know what you guys think about the Josh Jacobs deal and why we think it was a win-win deal for both sides.